This is the 2023 GMC Yukon Denali. Is it the best full-size SUV? Well, it definitely has a lot going for it, including a plentiful amount of horsepower from all available engine options. If you want the most where that's concerned, well, that's what you're going to find with this particular model, the 6.2-liter V8 under the hood. It has a quiet interior driving down the road. Might be a little bit of a surprise for a full-size SUV. It's roomy and it's comfortable. You will also find a lot of cargo capacity and quite a few storage spaces within for smaller items. This model comes with quite a few features. We're going to talk about exactly what those are in today's video. If you want to know more about this model, make sure to check out the link down in the description of the video to the Morgan Buick GMC website. It is for sale. It is available. Tell whoever you come in and talk to that Tom from Vehicle Visionary sent you. This model has a sterling metallic exterior color, a teak and light shale interior, which in my personal opinion, I think this interior color combination really looks more luxurious than say something that's just black. Tell me what your thoughts are where that is concerned. Obviously, the panoramic sunroof is here. You do have the power shade right here that can be drawn forward if so desired. And the front section up there tilts and slides open. And if you're new to checking out these particular models, especially this generation, you might say, well, that's an interesting look with the console. That's the power sliding console. And I'll show you more about how that works later in the video. So let's talk about the exterior of this model. LED lighting will be found everywhere you look. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights. The taillights on the rear that you just saw are also LED. A nice large grille with an aggressive yet a touch of elegant look to it. And you'll find right here underneath the GMC logo right there is going to be the forward-facing camera. Now there's not a front camera washer here. I'm waiting to find out if that's something that might change for 2024, but we'll have to wait and see. 22-inch wheels on this particular model. Here is what the remote looks like. You can see everything that's here, and the things that people like to know about most, or the one thing, remote start, that is here. And you have the power adjustable, heated, power folding side view mirrors. And the other thing that I found a lot of people ask about, turn signal indicators. You can see that they are built into these power side view mirrors. And with the combination of chrome and the body color door handles, you're going to find the button, not only here on the front doors, but also on the rear. You can lock and unlock all four doors with the rear button, as well as obviously the front, as long as you have the remote on your person. That has a lot of benefit to it. And you probably saw this earlier, but you have the power side steps here. They do have lights that will shine a little harder to see right now, but they are there. And you can go into the infotainment screen if you like to wash your Yukon in your own driveway instead of taking it to the car wash or letting someone else wash it for you. You can actually deploy those side steps to where they'll stay out, and it makes it easier to clean this vehicle. And the roof rails are up there, so you can get the crossbars and set things up so that you can have a little bit of additional space for luggage and whatever else. The rear roof spoiler is here, and I like the fact that you have a nice clean look here with the rear window because the rear wiper is tucked away neatly inside of the rear roof spoiler. And there are those LED taillights I mentioned earlier in the video. We'll finish things off here with the quad tip exhaust, and you know that that's exhausting the 6.2-liter V8. Let's talk about what the numbers are. And you already know from what I said earlier in the vehicle what's under the hood. The 6.2-liter V8, the largest V8 you can have for this model of vehicle from GMC. It makes 420 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 460, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. What does that equate to when it comes to MPGs? 14 city, 20 highway, 16 combined, and 6.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And in case you're curious, I know not every car review or vehicle review video gives this information, but I'm going to give it to you. How big is your gas tank? 24 gallons. If you would like to tow with your Yukon, it will tow up to 7,800 pounds, and gaining access to the rather plentiful cargo area that can be arranged in a multitude of ways. You can do it several different ways. You can push the button right here. There's a button on the remote. There's also a button on the interior, and I'm about to show you something that is very useful where that button is concerned. So if you want to use the hands-free feature right here, you can kick your foot underneath or swipe your foot across. That's even easier to do because that way you're guaranteed to get the right spot. And it's too bright to see it out here right now, but there's also a GMC logo that's projected onto the ground so you know where to swipe your foot. Cargo capacity will range between 41.5 up to 144.7 cubic feet. And you can see what I'm doing right here as far as lowering the rear seats. Depending on where those middle seats are will determine whether or not things go all the way down. But you can see that you have the powered buttons right here to lower the rear seats. You can lower the middle seats. You have to manually raise the middle seats back up, but you do have the power function here for bringing these seats back up. There we go. Get that to work. Just to show you what's going on where that is concerned, we'll put the headrests back in place so you can see how everything looks when it's maximized. You have the power outlet right here. That will come in very useful in a multitude of ways. Space underneath the floor, not only for additional storage, but if you need to gain access to the tools to change a tire, there is a spare tire located underneath the vehicle. And I'm going to push the button right here to close this power lift gate. Now, if you come back here and for some reason you use every possible function and the lift gate does not open, here is what is most likely going to be what you need to look at. I told you that this button on the interior was going to be important to know about. Here's why. Because it has 3 different settings on it. You can go to full, you can go to 3/4. It can also be set to off. That is probably why your rear lift gate is not opening if it's an issue. And we took a brief look earlier into the interior to show you the colors that are here. Let's talk about functionality. How comfortable is it? Well, the armrest here on these doors on the rear are nice and large, very comfortable. The upper and the lower door bins offering plenty of space for storage. And there's a pass-through here to make gaining access to and getting out of the rear seating area, the 3rd row of seating, easier. But there's also another way to deal with that. The good thing about it is while there's plentiful space for legroom back there, you can move these seats back and forth a pretty long way. And that's the lever that you use to do that. I don't think I can do that one-handed here. But what I can do one-handed is lower that, and then we'll push that one more time or pull on it one more time. And that allows me to gain access to this rear seating area. Now, let me see if I can get these seats back. So here is the difference. The seat here on the left-hand side of the vehicle is going to be all the way back. You can see what I have as far as leg room goes. Let's see here. It's a little windy today, so wind hair, I guess. How much space do I have above my head? I'm 5'10", sitting all the way up. I have a lot of room left. Now, you'll find that you have the air conditioning vents. Everybody basically has their own. But if that's not enough leg space, well, hop over here to the passenger side and see there is a lot more. And with no intrusions right here or any kind of a console, center console or anything like that, well, that includes additional space. And like I said, that pass-through makes things easier as far as getting in and out. Everybody back here, well, at least on the outer seats, outboard seats, will have their own USB option, a couple of cup holders right there. And if somebody happens to hop out and forgets to let people out of the back seat and they don't want to use the pass-through, well, there are 2 options for that. They can pull on this lever, or they can also use the button right here. Push that once. Let's see, let's push it again. There we go. So apparently you have to hold it down, and then that makes it easier to get out. You also will find the panoramic sunroof. So for those of you who say, Tom, I don't like conventional size sunroofs, give me the panoramic. Here's your option. And for those who are going to be sitting in the middle row, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you out. You have armrests on the seats right here. They seem to be comfortable. And the command center back here on the rear of the center console, that's all the way forward. And here are the controls for the air conditioning back here. Can control temperature, fan speed. You can use auto if you want to. There's also heated seats right here in this middle row area. And a couple of USB options in addition to another power outlet. A lot of connectivity options throughout the interior. If you would like to see what the window sticker looks like, well, here you go. I know it's not the best view, but you can always take a screenshot and zoom in or just pause the video. Whatever the case is, that will be easy for you. And if you're saying, well, Tom, what's the price? There are some added features here from Morgan Buick GMC. There is the overall price. So if you were curious about that, well, now you know. Just going to show you what's here as far as all of that goes. And for your front seat passenger, they're going to find, again, the nice comfortable armrest, the upper and the lower door bins, and the GMC and Denali logos here. GMC stitched into the carpeting right here, as well as the Denali logo. Power seats for the driver and the passenger, both very comfortable. And we'll hop inside here and take a look at what else is going to be found as far as the overall design of the interior goes. Nice large area right here for storage as far as the glove box goes. A little bit more on the side of the center console right here. And you can have the neat, clean look right here if so desired, or get all of this out of the way. There's wireless charging. Couple more USB options and a 12-volt power outlet hidden away right here. Cup holders, and we'll just go ahead and hide all of that away again. And the thing I like here about this nice large center console, it doubles as a lid for the console and an armrest. It sits at the right height to be very functional, and then plenty of space within. And if you want to control everything, well, we took a look at what you had up here earlier. You obviously have the control for the power shade, for the controls, or the control for the power function for the sunroof. This is the button that will be used to control the power center console, the sliding center console. And you already know what that's for and how important that can be. And as far as the driver's side door goes, well, you're going to have the additional functionality that you would expect to see here, including this button. What does it do? Well, it folds those power side view mirrors in. It also allows me to wave to the camera, partially at least, from behind the camera. Seat memory, 2 different settings right there for the driver's seat. And you can see right here quite a few different controls, not only for some of the safety features, but also for your drive mode selector and controlling the headlights and taillights and your fog lights as well. And then the head-up display that's going to be here. Also a power adjustable steering wheel, tilt and telescopically adjustable. And we'll hop on inside here and take a look at what we have. Here are the graphics that come up on the screen. I'm just showing you what's here because it's part of what you pay for. Steering wheel mounted controls, things that are pretty easy to deal with. And I'm going to reach over here and hit the push button start. And let's see here. Let's move the steering wheel up with that power function so we can give you a little bit better view of what's going on here. So if you wanted to change the overall look of your instrument display, just arrow over to the left and you can see display layout right there. And you can make changes right here depending on how you want things to look. There are several different options right here. So what I want to do is go back here. You can also individually make changes. So there's the left side, depending on what you want to see over there. We'll go back up and go over here to the right side. Maybe you're that person that says, Tom, I really don't want to see the Yukon image on the left-hand side of the dashboard. Well, you have some options where that's concerned. Just something to know about. People like to know about these things, and maybe you make changes. You can literally change the entire look of the dashboard a few different ways, even the head-up display. Now, if you come to the point to where you say to yourself, you know what, I really don't like the way things look. How do I reset? There's your reset to default. And I don't know how well the head-up display is going to show up today. Hard to say. It is pretty bright outside, even though it's overcast. Maybe that shows up a little bit better. But you can change to several different looks and information depending on what you want to see. And one thing that I know there are varying opinions on, it's what we have right here, the push button shifter. Instead of having a column shifter here, well, you have the push button shifter. Tell me what you think about that. And one other thing I want to show before we move on, your driving modes. So let's see what we have. We're going to have normal. We're going to have sport. Work our way back to snow and ice. You have your tow haul mode, and then we return to normal. Now, as far as your, not instrument cluster, but your center screen, let's get that right, goes. One thing that would help is for Tom to pull the plastic off of the screen, just so it's easier for you to see. It reduces the glare. And you can see what all is here. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless phone connectivity, Google Maps right here. So you have built-in navigation if you want to use that, or you can use whatever's on your phone. And how about your multiple camera views? There are multiple views here that make things very easy to see everything that's going on around your vehicle. Just show you all of the different views. There are your side view mirrors. You can also see the view if you need to hook up to a trailer and don't have anyone to help you out with that, you can do that. You can also get rid of the trajectory lines if you want to, or add them back in. So a very simple system to use. I'll tell you what, I really like what GMC has done here because it's so simple. You can see everything that's here. Let's go into vehicle settings, or just settings in general to begin with, and you can see everything that is here. Very easy to navigate your way around and find what you need to find. Here is vehicle. Let's go to that. If you want to turn your rear seat reminder on or off, you can do that. You can turn on buckle to drive. And I leave that off just driving around the parking lot, repositioning the Yukon. I do encourage you to use your seat belt when you're out on the road. And how about your collision detection systems? Alert type, there it is. Automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian brake. And you can see what all is here as far as this model goes. And one thing, I didn't mention it earlier, I don't think, but you can see it in the side view mirror right there, is going to be your blind spot monitoring. Now we'll go back here because there is something else that I wanted to show you. So let's go to our power assist steps right here. And we go to this area where you can deploy the steps if you want to. So what that means is they're going to stay deployed no matter what you do until you go back to the stow feature, and then they'll go in and out from under the vehicle. But if, like I said earlier, if you're washing the vehicle and you need to keep them out for that purpose, well, there's how you do that. And we also have what amounts to really tri-zone climate control, dual here in the front, single in the rear. You can sync the front areas together if you so desire to do so. And good news, depending on where you live, you might need heated seats. You have the heated seat cushion and seat back, or you can go ventilated as well. We still need that to a small degree here in Northwest Louisiana. And let me push the button right here and let you see what happens when I do that. So here is the power sliding console. There's a lot of different reasons why you might want to do that. If somebody in the middle seat area doesn't want to reach all the way up for their drink in the drink holders, yeah, that'd be pretty lazy, wouldn't it? But you could serve it up to them a little bit closer if you wanted. Well, you also increase space right here and gain access to the drawer right here. Pretty easy to deal with. No big deal there. That's always nice. Just something to know about. And one more thing that's different here compared to the GMC Sierras that have a little bit of a different lid than this. This area right here, you can actually buy an aftermarket wireless charging pad that can be wired in. Very easy to deal with, but that goes right here. So if you want 2 wireless charging pads, you can have them. Okay, let's get out on the road for a quick test drive with the Yukon Denali. And one thing a lot of people might think when they think full-size SUV is that it's going to ride very truck-like. Maybe have some truck-like handling. And while a vehicle of this size is not meant to have the best handling capabilities on the road, it really does handle pretty well for its size. It's not meant to be high performance. It's not meant to be thrown into corners at fast speeds or anything like that, but it definitely gets the job done. The ride quality is nice and it's quiet. That's something that is really maybe what I would call an attention getter. A lot of people might be surprised at that. You really need to drive these vehicles for yourself for that reason. And just because what I tell you, you might hop in here and say, wow, Tom, it's not as quiet as you said it was, or maybe you didn't emphasize how quiet it really is. It just depends on your situation. So you have that, and with the 6.2 liter V8 under the hood, you definitely don't have any trouble getting down the road. I don't really need to demonstrate that because we're just not in a good place to do it. But I can tell you from previous experiences that it's a good thing to have that head-up display there because of the fact that you can look right there at the windshield pretty much in your line of sight, not in such a way that it causes any problems, but it's easy to see down there. But you can see how fast you're going, and that's the thing. This is such a large vehicle, and you're high off the ground to the point that it's kind of deceptive. With all that horsepower under your foot, well, the reality is that sometimes it doesn't seem like you're going as fast as you really are. But I like the fact that you have so much space here. Plenty of room, headroom, leg room. You don't feel cramped in any form or fashion. And everything is very, very adjustable. I really like the comfort level here. Technology is very easy to use, very easy to learn, and that's a good thing. You don't have to worry about a steep learning curve as far as the technology goes. So for those of you who have been hanging on to your 1999 Suburban or Yukon, whatever the case is, well, you know what? You don't have to worry about a steep learning curve. That's one thing about GM's technology overall, at least with the road or the vehicles that are on the road right now, is that, well, they're very easy to learn. That's one thing I can say for sure. So a very well-balanced vehicle. Does that make it the best full-size SUV? Well, you'll have to tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments section. And in case you were curious about what it looks like with those side steps permanently deployed until you change the option, well, there you go. Just so you can see that that works. So tell me what you think down in the comments section. Is the 2023 GMC Yukon Denali the best full-size SUV? Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments section. I'm curious to know. Make sure to check out the link down in the description of the video in case this is something you want to buy. You can check out the link to the Morgan Buick GMC website. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at the dealership for loaning me this model for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.